everyone, this is Lourdes Minton. Today I'm going to tell you a tale of the Three Little Javelinas. The Three Little Javelinas is an adaptation of the famous tale The Three Little Pigs. The Three Little Javelinas was written by Susan Lowell. Once upon a time, way out in the desert, lived three little javelinas. Javelinas are wild, hairy southwestern cousins of a pig. Their heads were hairy, their backs were hairy, and their bony legs were hairy all the way down to their hooves. But their snouts were very pink and soft. One day the three javelinas trotted into the desert to seek their fortunes. In the hot, dry land the sky was almost always blue, and the steep purple mountains looked down upon them. Soon the little javelinas came to a spot where the desert road divided, and each of them went a different way. The first javelina wandered lazily along, and he didn't see a dust storm whirling along until it caught him. The whirlwind blew away, leaving the first little javelina sitting in a heap of tumbleweeds. Brushing himself off, he said to himself, "I know, I'll build a house with these tumbleweeds." And easy as 1, 2, 3 he did. Then along came a coyote who ran through the desert so quickly and quietly that he was almost invisible. In fact, this was one of the coyote's many magical tricks. He laughed when he saw the tumbleweed house and smelled the javelina inside. A tender, juicy piggy, he thought. Coyote was tired of eating mice and rabbit. He called out sweetly, little pig, let me come in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," said the javelina, who had a lot of hair on his chinny chin chin. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in," said the coyote, and he huffed and he puffed and he blew the little tumbleweed house away. And in the hullabaloo the first little javelina escaped and went looking for his brother and sister. Coyote, who was very sneaky, tiptoed along behind him. The second javelina walked for miles in a forest of saguaro cactus. They held their ripe fruit high in the sky, but made no shade, so the javelina grew very hot. Then he came upon a Native American woman who was gathering sticks from inside a dried-up cactus. She planned to use these long sticks called saguaro ribs to knock down the sweet cactus fruit. The second little javelina said, "Please, may I please have some sticks to build a house?" "Oh," she said, which means yes in the language of the desert people. When he was finished building his house, he lay down in the shade, and his brother arrived panting from the heat, and the second little javelina moved over and made a place for him. Soon the coyote found the saguaro rib house. He used his magic to sound like another javelina. Little pig, let me come in," he called. But the javelinas were suspicious, and the second one cried, "No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." "Bah," thought the coyote, "I don't want to eat your hair." Then the coyote smiled, showing all his sharp teeth. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." So he huffed and he puffed, and all the saguaro ribs came tumbling down. But the two little javelinas escaped into the desert, and still not discouraged, the coyote followed. The third little javelina trotted through the beautiful palo verde trees with green trunks and yellow flowers. Then she came to a place where a man was building a house of adobe. The bricks laid on the floor. The third little javelina thought, "May I please have a few adobe bricks to build my house?" "Sí," answered the man, which means yes in Spanish. So the third little javelina built her house, a solid little adobe house, cool in the summer and warm in the winter. When her brothers found her, she welcomed them in and locked the door behind them. Coyote followed the trail. Little pig, let me come in." This time the coyote pretended to be old, and the javelinas weren't fooled. The javelinas answered, "No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in," he grinned, thinking of the yummy piggy dinner to come. "Just try it," cried the third little javelina. So the javelina huffed and puffed, and the bricks did not budge. Again the coyote tried. "I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the coyote. The three little javelinas covered their hairy ears, but nothing happened. The javelinas peeked out the window just in time to see the coyote's tail swish right through their noses. He was climbing upon the tin roof. He used his magic to make himself very skinny. "The stovepipe!" gasped the third little javelina. Quickly she lit a fire inside, in her wood stove. Swoosh! Swizzle! The three little javelinas heard an amazing noise. It wasn't a bark, it wasn't a cackle, it wasn't a howl. It was all these noises together. Yip, yip, yo! Away ran the puff of smoke, shaped like a coyote. The three little javelinas lived happily ever after in the adobe house. And if you ever hear Coyote's voice way out in the desert at night, you'll know what he's remembering. I hope you like this adaptation of The Three Little Pigs. I know it's my favorite, and I know it's my students' favorite. Thank you. Bye.